So introduce myself again as well. I'm Lilias. I'm Barbadian. I've always kind of been fiercely independent, I suppose. Wanted to spend as much time seeing other places and experiencing other cultures as much as I could. Years went by, as it were. They flew by. I started a business a few years ago. It wasn't easy. It was a very difficult process. Thankfully, I actually lucked out and it started to go okay. And at that point, I kind of felt like everything was falling into place, except the one final piece of the puzzle that was missing was family, and I hadn't had a chance to have children. And I thought, well, oh dear, I've reached a certain age. I always knew I wanted children. I just kind of thought life would fall into place, but it doesn't work that way. When you're a little girl, you never kind of think that this is the way your family's gonna happen. You always kind of think, oh, I'm gonna get married and have children, and that's gonna be the way it is. It was a very difficult decision, but on the other hand, it wasn't, because I always knew what I wanted, and when faced with, well, this is the only option you have, it was an easy decision. It was funny, as soon as I walked through the door, it was like coming to see a group of friends. It wasn't uncomfortable, even though it was a highly vulnerable topic. And I thought I might be embarrassed or nervous, but it wasn't like that. And speaking to Dr. Corona was like talking to an old friend. She was very warm, and it made me feel like I could do this. It was just one step at a time, and I felt like the clinic held my hand the entire journey. I remember distinctly driving down the West Coast Road, and the entire clinic was on a speakerphone, screaming in unison that I was pregnant, it was positive. That's what makes them even more family. I was scared of what the reaction was going to be. I told my mom, she was thrilled. A lot of friends knew I was going through the process, not a lot. I had a core group of friends that knew what I was doing. They were very happy with the outcome. There were a number of people that weren't thrilled. A lot of people were curious at what I did or how I managed to become pregnant. It almost felt like I was undeserving because I was single. That's what it felt like to me. There were a lot of questions, a lot. People asking, friends of mine, asking me directly, people I barely knew asking me what I went through or what I did. In the end, you have to kind of own your story, and I'm not embarrassed by what I did. I have 2 beautiful boys, and they're mine, and nobody's intrusive question can ever tarnish that. The one and only thing that I would change if I could would be I would have done it earlier. I never once felt anything but at home here, so much so that at the 3-month mark of pregnancy, when they packed me off to an OBGYN, I was depressed. I wanted to come back to the clinic for my weekly appointment. I felt like everybody was in it with me. Everybody here was invested. And they were, they shared in my losses, and they also shared in my joy.